Unlike established companies that may have 50 plus years of market analysis available, growth stocks are of young companies that have relatively little time trading on the stock market. So it might be helpful in analyzing a stock like Coca-Cola or GE may not be as helpful when you're trying to analyze a growth stock, which is why I created this video and why I'm going to give you the 5 steps you need to take when you're trying to analyze a growth stock. Before we jump into the 5 steps for analyzing a growth stock, I just want to take a moment to say welcome to the channel. This is Dollar for Dollar and my name is Heather. Glad you can join today. And if you're brand new here, I provide financial tips and tricks to help you achieve financial freedom. So if that sounds like something you want to learn more about, consider hitting that subscribe button below. It is absolutely free. So let's just jump right into number 1. So the very first step when you are looking at a growth stock, you want to analyze their sales. You want to look at earnings growth. This would be a breakdown of sales performance year over year. And the reason you start here is because you want to see that they're actually making sales in a positive trend, that they're trending upward year after year before you jump into all of the other analysis, because if they're not profitable, frankly, they're probably not going to be around for very long. So after step 1, then you take a look at number 2, which is the projected outlook. These are future earnings that have been projected by financial analysts, and they're determining what they think the future of this company holds. So there's a lot of different resources out there when it comes to this. I highly encourage you to read as much as possible, because sometimes even within that particular field, even amongst experts, opinions can vary. They look at different things. They may have their own way of weighting certain metrics. So I would definitely take a look at the forward outlook for this company or this industry that you may be considering. And number 3, you want to make sure that you're seeing a nice, healthy profit margin, but not only profit margin, but that the profit margin is increasing year over year. Kind of going back to step 1 here, where we talked about sales, what you also need to be seeing is that not only have their sales increased, but they are actually profitable in making these sales, right? You can sell something for $5, but if it costs you $6, clearly we have a problem. So you need to make sure that you're seeing that trending upward again year over year. And number 4, you want to look at return on equity. ROE is extremely important because this usually means that if a company is managing stakeholders' investments well, they are able to take that and turn out a nice profit. So this is really promising when you see companies doing this year after year. And what's great about the ROE is that usually it can vary depending on the industry. So what you want to make sure you're doing is looking at that return on equity and comparing it now to its competitors. Make sure you're comparing ROE to other companies like it in that industry. So if you're looking at a stock in the healthcare industry, you really want to only compare the ROE of that stock to others in the healthcare industry versus like aerospace or technology. And if you're asking yourself, where can you find the return on equity for each of these industries? I've actually gone ahead and put a link in the description below for a great resource where it lists out all the different industries and the average return on equity that you can expect. So this is great for benchmarking. So this is part of your step 4. When you're looking at that ROE, not only are you looking at the ROE, but now you're going to go ahead and make that comparison to the average in the industry to see, is this just in line with what to expect, or is this doing really, really well compared to others in, again, the healthcare industry or maybe the aerospace industry, for example. And number 5, last but not least, you want to also identify debt within the company. You need to see how the company is managing debt, because unfortunately, return on equity can look really promising, but it can be inflated if the company has a lot of debt. So just like you did in step 4, where you're making that comparison to the industry, you're looking at the average, You want to look at the debt within this stock or within this industry, and you want to make sure that that is in line with its competition. You don't want to have a company you're investing in that holds, 30% more debt than the next guy within that industry. That would be a really bad investment right now. So definitely take a look at that. Definitely make sure you're looking at how debt is being managed and the amount of debt being held by this particular company. And quite frankly, if you're just wondering where to start when you are making an investment and when you're looking to just get into growth stocks, a great way to do that is by looking at growth stock mutual funds specifically, because it allows you to get little pieces of different companies and frankly within different industries. So I have actually done an entire video on that explaining not only growth stock mutual funds, but giving you some great examples of growth stock mutual funds. So I will make sure to leave that in the description below for you, and I'll leave a card here for you to check it out as well. But if you enjoyed this video at all, definitely give it a thumbs up and help the channel out. I greatly appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next video.